I, 37 male, lost my mom 11 weeks ago. Pancreatic cancer. Diagnosed in February, gone by late April. That's how fast it moves. You go from "we're going to fight this" to hospice care in what feels like a blink. I was there for the last 6 weeks. Took FMLA leave from my job as a logistics coordinator at a distribution company, moved into her guest room, managed her medications, drove her to appointments, and sat with her on the back porch in the evenings when she had enough energy to sit up. My sister was not there for the last 6 weeks. She lives about 40 minutes away. She came by 3 times during that entire stretch. Once to check in for about 2 hours, spent most of it on her phone. Once to bring flowers, which was nice, but you can't hold flowers when you're throwing up from chemo. And once at the very end, the last day, when she sat in the hallway and cried while I held our mom's hand in the bedroom. I'm not saying this to score points. Grief isn't a competition, and I don't want anyone thinking I believe it is. But context matters for what comes next. My mum was organized, always had been. She was a retired paralegal, worked for a family law firm for 26 years, and she understood the importance of having your affairs in order. She had a will. It was drafted by an attorney, properly witnessed and notarized. She updated it about 14 months before she passed, when she first started having health issues that turned out to be early symptoms. I knew the will existed. I'd been there when she mentioned updating it. She never told me the specifics. She just said, "Everything's taken care of. You and your sister will be fine." I didn't ask for details because she was my mom, and I wasn't going to treat her like a spreadsheet while she was dealing with her health. The will was kept in a fireproof lockbox in her bedroom closet. I knew where the key was because she'd shown me during one of the hospice weeks in case something happened when nobody else was here. I never opened it while she was alive. It felt wrong. After she passed, I gave everyone space. The funeral was small, maybe 30 people. My sister and I handled arrangements together, which was one of the few things we've done cooperatively in recent years. We split the funeral costs down the middle, for $200 each. I didn't fight about flowers or the casket or the program, I just wanted it done right. About 2 weeks after the funeral, I told my sister we needed to discuss the estate. Mom's primary asset was the house, a 3-bedroom ranch style she'd lived in for 22 years, fully paid off. There was also a modest savings account, a small life insurance policy, and her car, a 2019 Toyota Camry with about 38,000 miles on it. My sister suggested we meet at a coffee shop to talk through things. I agreed. We met on a Saturday morning. And that's when the wheels came off. She showed up with a folder. Not like a grief folder, like a business presentation folder. Manila tabbed with printed pages inside. She ordered an oat milk latte, sat down, opened the folder and said, "Okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot and I want to be upfront with you. Mom told me she wanted me to have the house." I set my coffee down. "When did she tell you that?" "Multiple times over the years. She always said the house should go to me because I have kids and you don't." "I have no children. My sister has 2, 9 and 12. That part is true. But the claim that my mom always said this was news to me." "Mom never mentioned that to me," I said. "Well, she wouldn't. She didn't want to hurt your feelings, but she was very clear with me. The house goes to me and you get everything else. The savings, the insurance, the car. It's actually a pretty fair split when you think about it." Let me pause here and do some math for the audience. The house, based on what comparable properties in the area have sold for, is worth somewhere in the range of $285,000 to $310,000. Mom's savings account had about $23,000 in it at the time of her passing. The life insurance policy was $15,000. The car, trade-in value, maybe $16,000 if you're generous. So my sister was proposing that she get roughly $300,000, and I get roughly $54,000. And she described this as a pretty fair split. I looked at her across the table and said 3 words. "Did she?" "Did she what?" "Did Mom say that in the will?" My sister blinked. "I don't know what's in the will exactly, but I know what she told me." "Have you seen the will?" "No, but..." "Then how do you know what she said?" She closed the folder. "I'm telling you what Mom told me verbally multiple times. That's her wish." Okay, then we'll read the will and confirm. She didn't like that answer. She wanted an agreement at the coffee shop that morning on her terms. The folder, I realized later, was her version of a closing argument. She'd come prepared to negotiate a deal that wasn't hers to offer. I left the coffee shop without agreeing to anything. She texted me 20 minutes later. I really think we can handle this between us without making it complicated. I didn't respond, because I was already in my car driving to my mom's house to get the lockbox. I opened it that afternoon. Inside was the will, the life insurance policy documents, the deed to the house, and a handwritten letter from my mom addressed to both of us. I read the will first. It was exactly what you'd expect from a retired paralegal who'd spent 26 years watching families tear themselves apart over estates. Clear, specific, and unambiguous. Here's what it said, in summary. The house was to be sold at fair market value. The proceeds, after closing costs and any outstanding obligations, were to be split equally, 50-50, between me and my sister. The savings account was to be split equally. The life insurance payout was designated to me as sole beneficiary. My mom had told me about this before she passed. She said it was because I'd taken the FMLA leave and she wanted to make sure I had a cushion for the income I lost during those weeks. She felt guilty about it. I told her not to. The car was left to my sister specifically. My mom noted in the will that my sister's car was unreliable and she wanted the grandkids transported safely. The handwritten letter was personal. I won't share all of it. But one line is relevant. I love you both equally. I've tried to be fair. Please don't let this house become the thing that breaks you apart. Too late, Mom. I scanned everything. Will, letter, all of it. Saved digital copies in 3 places. Then I put the originals back in the lockbox and brought it to my apartment. The next morning I called a probate attorney. Consultation fee, $275, appointment set for that Thursday. I also called a licensed property appraiser and scheduled an independent appraisal of the house. Cost, $375. Appointment the following Tuesday. Total out of pocket for protecting my inheritance so far, $650. Best investment I've ever made. Update 1, 3 weeks after the coffee shop. Things escalated the way I figured they would. Entitled people don't downshift when they hear no. They accelerate. After the coffee shop, my sister went on a campaign. Not to me, around me. She called our aunt, our mom's younger sister, and told her that I was trying to take the house and that our mom had verbally promised it to her. Our aunt called me confused and upset and said, "Your sister says you're not honoring your mother's wishes." I told my aunt that I had the will and it said something different. She asked what it said. I told her, equal split on the house, savings split equally, insurance to me, car to my sister. My aunt went quiet for a second, then said, "That sounds like your mother." It does. Your sister told me something very different. I know. My aunt, to her eternal credit, said, "I'm staying out of this, but if you need me to confirm anything about your mother's intentions, I was with her when she updated that will. She told me it was equal." That was the moment I realized my sister hadn't just made up a verbal promise. She'd built a whole alternate reality where she was the rightful heir and I was the greedy brother trying to steal from her children. And she was selling that story to anyone who'd listen. She told our cousin. She told her in-laws. She told 2 of our mom's oldest friends from church. The narrative was always the same. Mom promised her the house because she has kids, and I don't. And now I was being selfish and legalistic about it. She also, and this one really got to me, told her 12-year-old that Uncle is trying to take Grandma's house away from us. My niece sent me a text that said, "Mom says you don't want us to have Grandma's house. Is that true?" I stared at that text for a long time. Then I typed, "That's not what's happening. Your grandma left instructions and I'm making sure they're followed. I love you. This is grown-up stuff and you don't need to worry about it." She sent back a heart emoji, and I sat on my couch and just breathed for a while because weaponizing a 12-year-old against her uncle is a level of low I wasn't prepared for. Meanwhile, the legal and appraisal processes were moving forward. The probate attorney reviewed the will and confirmed it was airtight. Properly drafted, witnessed by two individuals, notarized and consistent with state requirements. He said there was essentially zero chance of it being successfully contested unless someone could prove my mother lacked mental capacity when she signed it, which she didn't, because she updated it 14 months before her death while she was still working part-time and fully lucid. He also told me something important. A verbal promise, even if it existed, does not override a written, notarized will. Not in our state, not in any state he was aware of. The will is the will. The independent appraisal came back at $298,000, right in the range I expected. I shared the appraisal with my sister via email, professional, no emotion, and told her I'd like to discuss listing the house for sale as directed by the will. I attached a scanned copy of the relevant section of the will, first time she'd seen it. She called me 18 minutes later. This isn't right. What isn't? This will, this isn't what Mom wanted. It's what she wrote and signed and had notarized. She changed her mind after this, she told me. She said the house was mine. Did she put that in writing? She didn't need to. She told me. The attorney says a verbal statement doesn't override a notarized will. I don't care what some attorney says. I know what my mother told me. Then you're welcome to retain your own attorney and contest the will. That's your right. She hung up, didn't slam the phone. I could tell she wanted to, but she's the type who hangs up slowly to make the silence louder. 3 days later, I heard from her husband for the first time. He called me on a Sunday morning and opened with, "Hey man, I think there's been some miscommunication and I want to help smooth things out." I liked him well enough before all this. He's a decent guy, works in insurance, coaches their kids' soccer team. But he was clearly deployed as the reasonable envoy to get me to cave. He said, "Your sister is really struggling with this. The house means a lot to her emotionally. The kids grew up visiting there. She always imagined raising them nearby." I said, "I understand the emotional attachment, but the will is clear, equal split." He tried a different angle. "What if she bought out your share? Like she takes over the house and pays you your half over time?" "Over what time?" "I don't know. A few years? We'd have to work that out." "So she gets the house now and I get an IOU." He went quiet. Then, "I'm just trying to find a solution that works for everyone. The solution is in the will. Sell the house. Split it equally. That works for everyone who respects what Mom actually documented." He sighed. "I'll talk to her." He did talk to her. And her next move was the one that made me stop trying to be diplomatic. Update 2, 6 weeks after original post. She changed the locks on our mom's house. Let me explain. The house was still in our mother's name. Neither of us had legal authority to alter the property. The estate was in probate, meaning the court oversees what happens to it until the process is complete. Nobody owns it yet. It belongs to the estate. But my sister, apparently deciding that possession is 9/10 of the law, it's not, drove over there one Tuesday, had a locksmith come out and changed the front door and back door locks. She then started staying there a few days a week, her words, to make sure the house is maintained. I found out because I drove over to check on the property. I'd been stopping by weekly to make sure the pipes were good, the yard wasn't out of control, basic stuff, and my key didn't work. I stood on that porch for a solid 30 seconds processing what had happened. Then I got back in my car, drove home and called my probate attorney. He was not pleased. He told me that changing locks on a property in active probate, without court authorization or agreement from all beneficiaries, was a serious problem. It could be interpreted as an attempt to exercise unauthorized control over estate property. He said I had two options: try to resolve it with her directly, or file a motion with the probate court requesting an order to restore access and prevent unauthorized modifications to the property. I chose option 2, because at this point, direct resolution with my sister was like trying to negotiate with a vending machine that already ate your dollar. My attorney filed the motion. The court scheduled a hearing for 10 days out. In the meantime, my sister escalated further. She started taking things from the house. Not the big stuff. The furniture, the appliances, those were still there. But smaller items, kitchen items, decorative pieces. A set of baking dishes our mom used for every holiday for as long as I could remember. Photo albums. A sewing machine that had been in the family for years. I know she took these things because she posted photos on her private social media. Her caption was something about keeping mom's memory close and preserving family traditions for the girls. She tagged our mom's church friends. She tagged our aunt. The comments were all heart emojis and "your mother would be so proud." No, she wouldn't. She'd be furious. Because that sewing machine was listed in the will under household contents, which were to be divided equally after both beneficiaries agreed on distribution. My sister just walked in and took what she wanted. I screenshot every post, sent them to my attorney, added them to the file. The probate hearing happened on a Thursday morning. My attorney and I were there. My sister showed up with her husband. No attorney. She hadn't retained one. She walked into a probate courtroom without legal representation to defend changing locks on estate property. The judge, older man, clearly had seen this kind of thing 1,000 times, reviewed the motion, reviewed the will, and asked my sister directly, "Did you change the locks on the property?" "Yes, but only because I was worried about security. The house was sitting empty and..." "Did you obtain authorization from the court or agreement from the co-beneficiary?" "No, but I didn't think I needed to. It's my mother's house, and I'm her daughter." "It's an estate property in active probate. You're a beneficiary, not an owner. There's a distinction." He ordered the locks restored to the original configuration, or new locks installed with keys provided to both beneficiaries and the estate's legal representative. He also ordered that no household items be removed from the property without written agreement from both parties or a court order. He noted that items already removed should be documented and returned pending distribution. My sister's face during this was something I'll carry with me for a while. Not satisfaction. I didn't feel satisfied. I felt tired. She looked like someone who'd been told the rules of a game she thought she was winning, and the rules didn't say what she thought they said. After the hearing in the hallway, her husband pulled me aside. "Was all this really necessary?" he said. "She changed the locks on a house she doesn't own and took things that aren't hers. So yeah, it was necessary. She's grieving. So am I. The difference is I'm grieving and following the law." He didn't have a response to that. Update 3. 11 weeks after Mom's passing, present day. After the court hearing, my attorney recommended we move to get the house listed and sold as quickly as probate allowed. The judge had already signaled that the will was clear, the estate was straightforward, and there was no basis for delay. My attorney filed a petition to authorize the sale. The court approved it within 2 weeks. My sister finally retained an attorney. Probably should have done that before showing up to a court hearing in her Target blazer, but better late than never. Her attorney filed a motion to delay the sale, arguing that my sister needed time to arrange financing to purchase the property at appraised value. Essentially, she wanted the right to buy me out. Here's the thing. I wasn't opposed to that in principle. If she could get approved for a mortgage that covered my half of the equity, roughly $149,000, and do it within a reasonable time frame, I'd have considered it. Selling to her would actually be easier than listing on the open market. No staging, no open houses, no realtor commissions. The judge gave her 60 days to secure financing. She couldn't do it. Her credit wasn't strong enough to qualify for a mortgage at that amount on her household income. Her husband's insurance salary, plus her part-time bookkeeping income, didn't meet the debt-to-income ratio requirements. They tried 2 lenders. Both declined. On day 58, her attorney notified mine that they were withdrawing the motion. The house would go to market. We listed it through an estate sale process. The probate attorney recommended an agent who specialized in estate properties, listed at $305,000 based on the appraisal plus agent recommendation. We had an accepted offer within 3 weeks at $297,500. Slightly under asking, but the buyers were pre-approved, no contingencies, and could close in 30 days. Both my attorney and the agent said it was a solid offer. My sister refused to sign. Her attorney sent a letter saying she believed the offer was below fair market value and that she wanted to continue marketing the property. My attorney responded with the appraisal, $298,000, the comparable sales data, and a note that the offer was within 2% of appraised value, and that continued delay was not in the estate's interest. The judge agreed. He ordered the sale to proceed and directed that if my sister did not sign the closing documents, the estate executor, which per the will was the probate attorney himself as a neutral third party, would sign on behalf of the estate. My mom had thought of everything. She'd named a neutral executor specifically so neither of us could hold things hostage. Retired paralegal, 26 years. She knew exactly what families do when there's property on the table. The sale closed last week. After closing costs, agent fees, and the outstanding property tax balance, the net proceeds were $271,400, split equally $135,700 each. The savings account, $23,000, was split, $11,500 each. The life insurance, $15,000, went to me per the policy designation. The car went to my sister per the will. The household items that she'd removed from the house were documented. Some she returned, the photo albums, the sewing machine. Others she claimed were gifts Mom gave her while alive, which is legally murky and not worth fighting over for a set of baking dishes and some kitchen items. My attorney advised me to let those go. I did, because at some point you have to decide what's worth fighting for and what's just exhaustion wearing a principal mask. My total inheritance, approximately $162,200 between the house proceeds, savings split, and life insurance. Minus attorney fees, $800 total for the consultation, filings, and hearing, minus the appraisal, $375. Net, about $158,000. My sister's total, approximately $147,200 between the house proceeds, savings split, and the car value. Minus whatever she paid her own attorney for the last few weeks they were involved. Not a massive difference. Mom was right. It was fair. Almost perfectly equal once you account for the life insurance offsetting my FMLA income loss. She'd done the math. Of course she had. Now here's the honest part. My sister and I haven't spoken since the closing. Not a fight, not a blow-up, just silence. She signed the closing documents, eventually, and we both got our checks, and that was it. No call, no text, nothing. Our aunt has tried to mediate. She's called us both separately and said, "Your mother would want you two to talk." And she's right. Mum would want that. The letter she left literally asked us not to let the house break us apart. But here's what I keep coming back to. I didn't break us apart. I followed the document our mother spent time and money and thought creating. I followed her actual written wishes. My sister invented a different version of those wishes, one that conveniently gave her $300,000 and me $54,000, and then treated me like the villain when I wouldn't play along. She changed the locks on our dead mother's house. She took things that weren't hers. She tried to use her children as emotional leverage. She told our entire family that I was stealing from her when I was literally just reading a piece of paper our mother signed. I don't hate my sister. I want to be clear about that. But I'm also not going to be the one who calls first. Because every time I replay this in my head, I keep landing on the same question. If the will had said what she claimed, if Mom really had left her the house and me the scraps, would she have fought this hard for it to be equal? We both know the answer. My mom's house belongs to someone else now, a young couple from what the agent said. They're going to paint the kitchen and rip out the carpet and make it theirs. And that's fine. That's what houses do. They hold one family's memories until another family starts making new ones. I still have the letter Mom wrote. It's in the lockbox, which is in my closet. I haven't read it again since the first time. I'm not ready. Maybe in a few months, maybe longer. The last line keeps echoing in my head without me needing to reread it. Oh, please don't let this house become the thing that breaks you apart. I'm sorry, Mom, I tried. But you can't hold something together when the other person is pulling with both hands in the wrong direction. The check cleared 3 days ago. I put most of it in a high-yield savings account. I'm thinking about using some of it as a down payment on a small condo eventually. Nothing fancy, just something that's mine. Something with a lock that nobody else can change.